Good evening, friends. Welcome back. It was a beautiful day here on the homestead. A lot different than about 24 hours ago. We were blowing 40-mile-an-hour winds from the north-northwest. Had a cold front come in and dropped the temperature down to about 20 degrees, and snow started falling. Woke up this morning with about a quarter inch of snow on the ground, and by 10 o'clock, it had risen to about 50 degrees and the snow had melted. My only concerns yesterday with the snow falling and the cold temperatures was with my chicken tractor. I've got 20 meat birds in there who have never seen or felt cold weather. They've only been in there for, well, 4 days now, since this last Monday. And, well, they turned out to be pretty good and weathered the storm. Talking about meat birds, and we can bring these guys into it too, these hens and roosters. With our current political climate, we can learn a lot from our ancestors and by reading history. My grandparents were either born or they were raised during the Great Depression. Both my biological grandfathers passed away well before I was even a thought. Actually, my mother's father passed away before she was even born. Had a massive heart attack. But luckily, I had adopted grandparents when I was a kid. The neighbors, they took us in as their own, and I learned a lot of stuff from their childhood. Nana, who I called her, grew up in the panhandle of Oklahoma. I think she had 8 or 9 brothers and sisters. I think 4, maybe 5 of those didn't make it through the Depression. They died of disease or something happened along the way, and horrible childhood for that part. They were dirt floor poor, literally had a dirt floor in their house. But Nana, she told me stories growing up, while I was growing up, about her growing up, that, they had chickens, they had a dairy cow, and she told me stories of, planting a garden and harvesting the garden with her father and mother. My Nana and her brothers and sisters that survived and grew to adulthood and into their 90s were successful people after the Great Depression. They didn't allow their childhood and their upbringing and the current events of that time to guide their life in the wrong direction. In fact, my grandmother and her sisters, they worked for Boeing during the war, making bombs and whatever else was going on during the 40s, during the World War II. And we can go to an opposite side of that, where my mother's mom was also a child of the Depression era. And to current standards, she would be what they call today a hoarder. Not that she had any survival items, but she just kept everything. Here we are, 2022. We've got political issues across our world. 2 countries at war with each other. And here in our own country, we have leadership pointing fingers and blaming others for what's happening here, nonetheless forgetting that he has 3 of them pointing back at him. We have leadership who are saying, you and we're going to be experiencing a food shortage because of them. Like I said, we can look back on history and learn quite a bit from it. Back in the, less than 100 years ago, how common was it for the common man, homesteader or not, whether you're not in a big city or not, to have a couple chickens in their backyard and have a garden? In the 40s, everything went towards the war effort. They said use less and grow more and do your own more. They needed the metals, the precious metals, to go towards the war effort. You know what that would be called in the 40s and the 20s and 30s? A victory garden. Growing your own food. Man, what a concept, was growing your own food. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do here, is be more self-reliant. And I would love to help others learn how to do that. Last year, we raised 27 meat birds. That was a very low number for our first year. We started late, but 27 birds. Couldn't give a bird away for anything. I put on my Facebook page to friends and family, hey, I've got meat birds. I will bring them to you. Normally you'd go to the store at the time and buy a 3 to 4 pound bird for $15 locally. I will give it to you. I will give you a meal for your family of 2 or 3 or 4 people. Nope. Couldn't hardly give them away. In my coop, I get around 40 eggs a week. Eggs here locally, 1 week could be about $3.50 a dozen. Drop down to $1.75 the next week. It is everything I can do to throw eggs at people. But they'll still go out and complain about it. The cost of eggs. I'm giving them away for free. Recently, I decided to start incubating and hatching chicks from my own coop. I've got a mix of different birds. Some of them are going to be purebreds, and some of them are going to be crossbreeds. Locally, I can go to different hardware stores in the area within about a 30-mile radius, and there's 6 stores that also they buy from large hatcheries. They're supplied by large hatcheries. They also have chicks. Those chicks start at $3.50 a piece. When they're about 2 weeks old, they go on sale for less. I have 30 chicks. I start them at $3 a piece. And according to some people out there, being that I'm 50 cents cheaper on the low end of the farm store price, I'm still too high for my chicks. For a $3 bird that can grow up, provide eggs for yourself, for your family, and possibly a full chicken. $3 worth of an investment for a bird is too much for people. But they'll go on social media and complain about it. Complain about the cost of a bird that has been slaughtered and packaged and filled with water at the store. People give away chances all the time to put food on your table for your friends and family. And people, it's easier for people to complain about stuff in this modern day and age than it is to take the steps to make big changes in their life. I started off with 9 chicks, and then I bought 6 more, and then I bought 3 more. I've had 5 of those birds, unfortunately, get attacked by dogs or hawk or whatever it be, but I'm hatching eggs myself to recoup my chicken coop, to regenerate it. It's a little step. And yes, I do feed my birds, store-bought chicken feed, which is over doubled in the last year. When we first built this chicken coop, got our first chickens April of last year, a bag of feed was about $6, and it's now for the cheap bag, store brand food, it's around $14 a bag. So I do a lot of more free range grazing, and once the grass turns green, they're going to be out here all the time and almost no feed. But it's a chance you take to better your life, and people, they don't want a free chicken that's been slaughtered and packaged. They don't want free eggs. but they want the chicken that's alive for damn near everything but free. They want it for free. They don't want to pay anything for it. That's what they think you should do. Interesting times we live in. So by the way, you need a minimum of a month's worth of food on hand. You need minimum of 50 gallons of water, jugs, water bottles, water purification, fire, shelter, backup energy sources, and so on and so forth. And we'll talk about that more on another video. I've hit on it numerous times, as have hundreds of people on social media. But it's time for you to make the changes to weather the storm that we are about to experience in this country. And I don't think people understand what's coming. Because for months now, I've been saying, and as so has others, something big is about to happen. Something big is going to happen, and it's going to blindside you, because if you're not paying attention now, you're not going to notice it then. So, anyways, until the next one, guys, keep calm and carry on. Get prepared, and I'll see you around.